girl, because you gotta hold your breath for just to see black. I mean, girl, what did I say? That airplane just that actually pulled off my focus. To see justice before it all fades to black. Girl, I ain't trying to see no black right now. Already legally blind. Okay, so anyways, I am back today. Today is October the 28th, 2023. Yes, girl. Got a few hours before I jump aboard my work ship because, girl, I work to live and I live to work. I hustle hard until it hurts. I work my fingers down to the bone. And once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Once I pay my bills, it ain't nothing to come home with. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, we're getting back to. I had these notes yesterday when I was going through comparing the justice system, our current state of the justice system, to a narcissistic relationship, girl. We got a narcissistic relationship with this system, girl. This system hides behind a mask of safety, and just like in a relationship with someone with NPD, they hide behind a mask. Okay, so let's jump right back into it. But in the last part, I did tell you that the true perp in Marcello Jackson's case, I was going to read his rap sheet. So, girl, I got it here. I didn't have it on me at the time. I was, y'all know, in Florida, that as well is unjust. And the reason they got housing, but they got the housing so freaking darn high that nobody but a select few can afford housing. So we all on waiting lists waiting for the ones that are not so high, but they still high, girl. The apartment, let me tell you, the apartments in the hood now are high. Like, who paying that much to stay in a box unit? Like, for real. But I don't know. It's like, I don't know. In this system, they do what they can to whoever the small guy is. It's about who has the best. The more, yeah, who has the bag? Really, the more resources you got, the more justice you will get. The more resources you got, the more injustice you can inflict. Girl, I wasn't even trying to rhyme, but I love that right there. But let's get back to it. So I have printed out the rap sheet. Oh, I can't even. Do I get. Does it have the actual. Okay, so I see criminal felony, another criminal felony, another criminal felony. Those were closed, another criminal felony. They're like with different people. But because this was from a website, I think I was supposed to click on the link, girl. Okay, so now the next thing. Let's see, what's this? I need to go through and highlight this because I thought I had the actual charges. Possession of burglary tools. Girl, I know that did not just blow all my stuff over. Possession of burglary tools, loitering and prowling, possession of cannabis, 20 greater than 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession firearm, concealed weapon by convict, felony status. Um, what does that say? CR, resisting officer without violence. Maybe that's their running. Resisting officer again without violence. What date was that? Okay. Theft, third degree felony. A lot of misdemeanors. Criminal felony. Says reclosed. It was open and then reclosed. Criminal traffic. Criminal traffic, criminal felony, criminal felony. All these have different dates. Misdemeanor, criminal felony. So what I'm gonna have to do is go pick up my papers, girl, for they blow all over the place. And I'm gonna have to click on the link so I can actually get the actual charges. But y'all see how many felonies that is. But y'all don't have the details of, the felonies. Because I know I was researching it. You know how the charges are ranked in like different categories? Like say, okay, let's say the kidnapping charge. There's a lesser charge of kidnapping that could be like holding someone against their will. That evading police, like it looks like a lesser charge of what did I just say that he had? Resisting arrest without force or something like that. Like it looks like the same charges, but escalated all the way down. It looks like he's able to plead himself down until he just kind of gets out of it and just released. Where my little notebook go, girl? I ain't got time for this right now. I'm trying to go out with the kids. My paper's gone. Hold on, I'll be back, y'all. Hopefully this don't stop. Like list, but just to hear how many felonies that this person already has, and he was already out on bond when he this night in question with Marcello when he picked his cousin up. And the reason when that car got behind him, he tried to evade police is because he was out on bond. He just got out on bond, and that is the reason why he ran. Okay, so let's jump back into my notes. Please check out part 1 of me comparing the current state of our justice system to a narcissistic relationship. Okay, trying to find my spot that I was at. Okay. Let's read some of the other allegations. So I'm going to work on that and bring that again later. The true perp in the wrongful conviction case of Marcello Jackson committed after this incident with Marcello. There's a laundry list. And in fact, at the time of the night in question with Marcello, the actual perp was out on bond for an existing case. This is the true reason he attempted to evade the police after he rolled or ran the stop sign. If he didn't have an existing case, it is quite probable, girl, I can't say that when the car rolled the stop sign, the police officer would have put his lights on and sirens on. The driver would have just pulled over and just been issued a warning or a traffic citation. So the driver is in all actuality fleeing the police because he is out on bond and says he can't go back. No one else in the car had reason to run. That's why no one else ran. Okay. He couldn't go back to jail. But my personal feeling is he should have just taken the L, because by him knowing the system and just by seeing how many of his charges are dropped anyway, right? He should have just took the L. Okay. And looking at his arrest record, he would have just received another tap on the wrist and would have been right back on the street before one knew it to commit more crimes against society in the community. While the jury was in a short deliberation of the fate of Marcello Jackson, very short because deliberation was less than an hour, came back with guilty in the highest on every charge. They didn't have no fingerprints. They didn't have the weapon they was charging him with. They didn't have nothing, not anything. They lied about there not being no surveillance. They told us we didn't have enough money to pool surveillance at 7-Eleven to prove where Marcello's whereabouts. They told us the club slash hotel that they alleged that Marcello came up and jacked these people in this car and drove off with them. They claim that it happened in a parking lot of a club slash hotel, but there's no surveillance that can back that up. But in an article a few years later, girl, I found another article where there was somebody in the parking lot and got robbed in that parking lot, and they found their suspect from the surveillance cameras in the parking lot, right? I knew when they told me that. That sounded like a lie. Like, why you a club slash hotel has no surveillance in the parking lot? And that club, I stayed up to 6 a.m. the other day researching that club because I'm trying to find. I want to find a picture because they've recently, after 2020, knocked and demolished the club, so it's gone. So I'm trying to find old pictures or something that shows surveillance cameras on this club, right? To actually have pictures to show that they were lying about not having surveillance cameras, because surveillance cameras would have 100% proven their case, and there would be no reasonable doubt in this case, because it would have showed that yes, Marcello in fact was at this club and that he approached that car that they were in. So they had to get rid of all of that. It seems like if you are correct in this crime, right? In this case, and the state has the burden to prove, not the defendant. That's how it goes by law. But in actuality, it's not that way. But the state had the burden to prove. So if you're proving that this man did all of this, why did you not bring the weapon? I know if there was a weapon, there's no way you could not have found it. That's why you're saying Marcello ran, because you're trying to give a reason as to why we're charging him with the weapon and we quote unquote can't find a weapon. That's why they're doing that, so that it can leave that vague that, oh, he must have discarded the weapon while he was running, which means it could be anywhere. No, baby, Marcello didn't run. So now, get back to how you gonna answer that there was a weapon, but we can't find it when he was arrested right at the stopped vehicle. Girl, they really think we dumb. They honestly think that we are very dumb. They honestly think we have no value, that nobody is going to fight for us, and that whatever they do to us, they could just do and get away with it, right? That sounds narcissistic, doesn't it? Okay, so while the jury was in a short deliberation of the fate of Marcello Jackson, a question about the driver that attempted to evade the police in Marcello's case did arise. So the jury had questions like, you bringing us a story about how the passenger in a car is actually the one, he's not even driving the car. So you're trying to tell us how he is the one that committed this whole crime. He did it with this other black guy that I showed you is not a black guy, but he did it with this other black guy that ran and got away, but unfortunately Marcello didn't get away. So we would have actually brought the other black guy here to court to stand trial, but we couldn't find him, girl. You couldn't find him, but yet you did find him and you let him go. I have a printout of a motion to withdraw by Marcello's first attorney because Marcello and the cousin that wasn't arrested, quote unquote, had the same attorney. And the attorney said, this is like me defending both sides. How y'all are conflicting. I can't defend both sides of this case. But I thought he was not arrested. So why does he even have a case, girl? And why is the attorney trying to withdraw? Because he wasn't arrested. But the motion to withdraw because of conflict of interest, because I have reason to believe that my client is going to tell incriminating words against my other client. And I cannot defend both. He has already given us confidential. And I want to do so since I know you lying. I know you lying, girl. You lying. Can I find the transcript to that trial? And maybe we could order that trial and we can compare what y'all came and lied about in this trial and compare y'all lies you tell in the other trial, because the reflected trial would have had to been subtracting Marcello. They would have had to subtract Marcello, like judged, right? But the testimonies would have had to conflict because in Marcello's case, they kept saying they couldn't recognize that they have no description. The driver was bigger, taller, shorter, skinnier. He was black. He was this. He was that, and he was all over the place with their description of him. And even the lady officer in her testimony, she got caught up because she said she screamed, "Hey!" And they both turned around as they were running. Do that at. But that's what she said. She said, "I screamed, 'Hey!' And they both turned around and looked at me." And she got caught right there. And it was like, wait, hold on. They looked at you? So you seen the other suspect? And she said, "Oh, no. I didn't get a good look at him." The fuck? Are you kidding me? And all of this, I don't know. This was too much. Okay. The judge, so actually, question about the driver that attempted that attempted to evade the police in Marcello's case did arise during deliberation, right? The judge said he is not going to answer that question because concern driver did come up to the, because I mean it makes no sense without the driver. You literally, for all this to make sense, you need that missing puzzle piece. You need that driver. Without the driver, I'm gonna get to that. Okay, so questions concerning the driver did come up to the jury. So the jury was given a totally incomplete story with many holes to fill in, and some holes were omitted on purpose. That driver hole was omitted on purpose. Some holes were omitted on purpose, holes not given. The complete story is not fully known to the jury. So now, if the jury actually did know that, yes, in fact, the driver was arrested, would the jury have made the same verdict? Would they, honestly? Example, it's like back in the day when one wanted to take a road trip, they used a road map. Now, let's say the store you were purchasing the road map from cut several holes in the map, and they cut some small holes, such as where that weapon at. That ain't even really small, but let's say other small hole. Well, no, the surveillance cameras, that's not a small hole, that's a big hole. Okay, a small hole, which really is a big hole as well, was that they changed the direction that the car, from the police's original arresting affidavit, he wrote that the car was coming down another street that connected Marcello to that club. It was a cross street. And when he came to trial, he changed it to this, right? Okay, some small holes and some large holes, such as we actually did in fact find and arrest the driver you question about, but we have to keep that information and information that he aided us by giving us confidential information from you, the jury, because there's a chance that if we did give you this full, complete information that we took out on purpose, The guilty verdict that we so deeply want you to return, you may not. So the so with omitted information, the jury can't return an accurate, completely fair verdict, even if they deep down inside their own morals, values, and convictions wanted to. And bring it back to the initial topic, how the justice system exhibits narcissism. That is a demonstration in one of many ways the system manipulates the jury trial process. It is also a great example of how the why did I leave that blank? Okay, the players in the system, it's about securing the win, the conviction, rather than keeping their part of the bargain, ensuring the citizens of this country a fair, just trial before a jury of our peers. Isn't that just like a narcissist? They want you to uphold your part, be a law abiding citizen, right? Of the bargain, and they don't uphold their part, giving you the fair trial, right? Of the bargain. And just like in a narcissistic relationship, we, the law abiding citizens, become flying monkeys to this system. If y'all know about really like that, oh no, the judge need to start doing the right thing. Why did you pick a criminal to be with? Why did you procreate with a criminal? That's what people have told me. Oh, and you mean to tell me he's rightly convicted, because there's no way a jury just found him guilty to be mean. Flying monkeys supporting this system. Okay. Just like in a narcissistic relationship, we, the good, abiding, law abiding citizens, became flying monkeys. And they are essential to keeping the distorted, one sided relationship together. Justice system is basically one sided. They don't tell both sides of the story and make a NPD would not allow you to state your claim on your side at all. They will talk over you. They'll get loud. They'll escalate it really quickly. It'll be a regular conversation, and then they'll get loud into where it's an altercation. You all confused. You defending yourself now, and you don't even know why you defending yourself like that, and till they end up winning just by default, right? Okay, one-sided relationship together. Flying monkeys. I already explained what they are. Okay, I got another one I'm going to have to write out. Who were the flying monkeys in the case and their roles? There's a lot of flying monkeys in the case, in the justice system, within the prison system. There's a lot of flying monkeys. Like, you got to have them to keep this thing intact, this one-sided relationship. Okay, and remember, he got a free pass. This is back to it. He got a free pass to commit more crimes, this lineage of crimes. All of these crimes were made possible by someone we pay and praise for keeping us safe. So not only didn't he keep Marcello safe, because he was paid to keep Marcello safe as well, he gave the leeway for so many other crimes to happen against innocent, law abiding citizens. So this is as well how, and this is not just in Marcello's case. This is one example. This happens all the time. If you know anybody that's been through the system, you're going to hear the same stories, the same type of stories. So this means that this is a constant thing. This is a continual error that they make within the system. Okay, so that means that continually there's many times that this system is not keeping us safe. How is that keeping us safe? The person that is committing crimes, we're letting him go. And he did commit more crimes. So we got the evidence that he was going to continue to commit crimes. Like, girl. And guess what? Guess what? They did not want, the judge said that you could not add substances. I'm just adding this in to the case of Marcello Jackson because that's where them kids, they kept calling them kids. The kids, that's where the kids was coming from the club so they can get rights, so they could return to the club to go to their dance. And after all of this, once they took Marcello off the jail, whatever they did with that driver, those two returned back to the club, and they were asked why, if you literally just said you was in fear for your life, girl, why you went back to the club. They said because they were so shaken up about what happened that they had to get another drink. No, you left to go get yourself right. You got pulled over by the police. Whew, close call. We didn't get right, but we still got time to return to the club before this dance starts. That's what happened. Okay, so all of these crimes were made possible by someone we pay and praise to keep us safe. So not only didn't he keep Marcello safe, he gave the leeway for so many other crimes to happen against innocent law abiding citizens. So, see how just one instance, one breach in officers keeping us safe causes many other crimes in our community to happen. That wouldn't have happened if the actual perpetrator in Marcello's case were actually, instead of incarcerating an innocent person that is not committing crimes. This is just an example in my family. Like I told y'all, I was the scapegoat child, and so was Marcello in his family. In this case, the scapegoat child basically is the one that no matter what, it's their fault. Like, girl, it's your fault. And I'm like, what the? How is my fault? I literally, but it's your fault. You always have to take the blame. Like, run me the blame, run me the blame. I was the scapegoat child in my family. Marcello, as well, is the scapegoat child in his family. Okay, in the alleged crime, he's also the scapegoat. Marcello became the scapegoat in this crime. Everything was thrown off on him. Actually, if you have the real way, I have another video in the actual way the police officers should have addressed the situation, if they were actually like doing the way they sworn to protect and serve. This is how they really should have done it. They should have arrested all four people in the car. The car evaded the police. This is suspect. That, I'm telling you, that raises red flags. Yes, that's suspect. Arrest all four, and then we figure this out, and we scratch each person off after investigation. We don't say, hey, you two go head on. You, we gonna cut a deal with you, and you, it's all going off on you. No, you arrest all four, and then you further investigate, and then you see if there's anything that anybody has to do within the case. You find those issues and what you can have stick. If you can't make it stick, don't make it stick, right? And then they should have been cleared that way. You should have pulled surveillance. You should have did a canvas of this place, right, of the neighborhood. You should have had other witnesses. There are definitely other witnesses. They lied and claimed that the parking lot was completely empty except for Marcello and the two guys and his cousin. Lies, 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 lies they tell, because this was right before the famous dance and the biggest night. I did find a thing about that. I gotta go get those screenshots, because it was saying the Sunday night was the biggest night for this club. So you're lying saying there was no other people around in that parking lot. That is a lie. And the reason you didn't want to bring those security cameras is because you don't want to show that, hey, I'm clearly lying to you guys. Because there's cars everywhere. Cars going in, cars coming out. There is security out there. We do have cameras. So you don't want to incriminate yourself. So them bringing evidence would have incriminated their own case. That's why they came to court with no evidence. Okay. So in the case, ironically enough, Marcello is the scapegoat in this alleged crime. Well, in this dynamic, a child that is actually doing wrong, whether it is breaking something around the house, the two siblings getting in some sort of trouble because of actions of the other sibling that is not the scapegoat, which they call that the golden child. We call that one the golden child. I keep skipping in front of myself. I already said that. The golden child gets in trouble for nothing. And if they do, it's not too often. Now, the cousin was a golden child in this story. Because of this dynamic, the blame and punishment is distributed to the wrong party. Those actions instills in the golden child, in the cousin that got away, that they can do just about anything and get away with it, causing them to almost be empowered to do wrong. See where I'm going with this? Because the actual perp in the wrongful conviction of Marcello Jackson was let go and then hid and concealed from the case, he got the message that he can commit crimes. Give the officer something in return, and he will be given a pass to continue his lineage of crimes. So, how did the officer in the case, and probably many other cases, keep us safe? They actually made my family unsafe, and probably many others, by taking the man out our household, leaving us without a provider and a defender. And we know the stats about children that come from fatherless homes. 18.3 million children across America live without a father in the home. Fatherless families are 4 times more likely to raise children in poverty. The justice system thrives on poverty. Research suggests that 84% of homeless families are fatherless families. It also begets lower self-esteem. They have anxiety and social withdrawal and depression, and it leads to increased risk of outing oneself or self-harm. 85% of children who exhibit behavioral disorders are from fatherless homes. That's from U.S. Office of Justice Programs. Okay, that's who provided the information. They are five times greater chance of developing a mood disorder, 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substances. Single parenthood not only affects the health and well-being of the child, it also affects the single parents as well. Very much affected me. I was a single mother by force, not choice. I got a rap about that too. They made me a single parent. Literally, we were a family unit together. They always claim that black men don't want to take care of the kids and children, which I know that to be a lie because I was raised with my black mother and my black father. And I'm black. So how could that be true if it's not true about me? That's another statistic that we like to judge people on. And I actually had a husband in my house with my child, but they took him. So you made the statistic true about me, but it wouldn't have been. Okay. And it made me go through so much. I'm going to hit that real quick, and then I'm going to get back to, I'm almost done because I got to go get my niece and nephew, and we're going to hang out before I go to work. To all my single mothers out there by force, not choice. Hey, know that you can make it, but the choice is yours. If you never give up, never throw in the towel, just keep your head up, you'll make it out somehow. Things get rough and you're feeling all alone. And no, it's not fair. Then make that baby on your own. But whoever told you that life would be fair? And whoever said your baby daddy will stay there? Her 35% locked in jail. Her 35% don't even give a damn. That only leaves 30% true pop. So them 30%, I must give you props. See, some mamas got to work 2 jobs, they never home. Some mamas got to slip, they gotta slide down that pole. But they do what they gotta do to take care of they seed. Cause nothing in this life is a guarantee. Yeah, things get rough, but they ain't impossible. For answers that you seek, you better search deep inside of you. You gonna have to find some way to make it through. Cause them kids got no one else, they depending on you. To all my single mothers out there by force, not choice. Know that you can make it, but the choice is yours if you never give. Never throw in the towel, just keep your head up, you make it out somehow. Example, people talk about the things that Kim do, but they don't know what hell she been through. Let's say your baby was hungry, ain't had no food. You sure you wouldn't be tempted to steal it for him? Let's say you just lost your job, you couldn't pay your rent. You sure you wouldn't be tempted to go and strip? See, one slide down that pole could be a hot meal, or one more lap dance could pay a couple bills. This situation is a mother. Yeah, I know, because I'm also doing it by myself. And every time I try to do the right thing, it's like I always end up catching hell. I'm sympathizing with this mother. Yeah, I'm taking time to look at every single fact. And even though she might not always do the right thing, she always got good intentions. To all my single mothers out there by force, not choice. Hey, know that you can make it, but the choice is yours if you never give up. Never throw in the towel. Just keep your head up, you make it out somehow. All my single mothers out there by force, not choice. Hey, know that you can make it, but the choice is yours if you never give up. Never throw in the towel. Just keep your head up. You'll make it out somehow. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac. Ooh, I did it, girl. It's hard to remember your own raps, your old raps, right? And then keep that breath, girl, because I'm a little older now. Okay. So, single parenthood not only affects the health and well being of the child, it also affects the single parent as well. This system continues the next generation, and the system then is successful in perpetuating another generation of citizens that would be more prone to ending up in the system, the same system. So, why does a system that is in place to provide safety and consequences to those that break the laws and place them in another system that is supposed to correct the bad behavior and re-release the now reformed citizen back into society? Side note, the correction system as well is a narcissistic system. But that would need to be its own video to explain that further. But yes, we the people are in a narcissistic relationship with the system that is meant to benefit us. I just showed a video series about narcissistic relationships and how they actually over time bring us down, stunt our growth, and make us start to see ourselves in the same demonized way the person with NPD sees us. So now we do see ourselves as criminals. You see me as a criminal, and I might see you as a criminal. We all see ourselves as criminals because they have criminalized us for so long, right? This system has made a lot of people from my community start to see themselves in the same demonized way as the narcissistic system does. And that's all my nits for now, girl. We got through it. All right. Thank you for joining me. If you did, thank you for forgiving me for all my little slip ups, girl, because I have to plan a little battle. Like, but I'm get better as I go. You know, I'm human. I do make mistakes and errors. That is something you'll never hear in a narcissistic relationship. That they did anything wrong, girl. They don't do nothing wrong. They sit right up on the lap of God. Anyways, hits your girl Cadillac. A little bit later, I will have some family vlogs because I'm going out with my little niece and nephew, and then have my workshop. All right.